My name is Helena Asantewaa Setsoafia, but in Toastmasters, a lot of people know me as Asantewaa Setsoafia. Reason being like I love to show the two parts of me. Asantewaa from the Akan, and then Setsoafia, an adopted daughter of the Ewes because I'm married to an Ewe. So immediately I put that name up, it becomes an icebreaker for me. People want to know how come Asantewaa and then Setsoafia. But the full name is Helena Asantewaa Setsoafia. I belong to the only club in Tema Flourish Toastmasters Club. A proud charter member. We started somewhere in 2018, but we finally chartered in August 2019. And it's been a beautiful journey so far. I think for almost like 2 years, Nancy Michaud of Perissos Horizon Toastmasters was trying to push me into Toastmasters. I got to visit Perissos a few times, but I still didn't make up my mind until she called me one day and said there was a club coming up in Tema, so I should give it a chance. I went for their first demo meeting and I never looked back. So it was how people were just simply being themselves. It was a small community where people were trying out their best in terms of their communication skills in a very, what's the right word for me to use? A very positive environment. The spirit there was just lively. You could make all the mistakes that you want to make and then you get constructive feedback out of it. So although I was a good speaker, I realized that there was more to what I thought I knew. And when I listened to people who I felt were even better than me trying to get better, then I knew that no, I needed to stay and then get better and better each passing day. When I learned to start smiling. Yes, it was a difficult part of me. I don't know how, maybe my upbringing or whatever, but I remember, and I will always say thanks to people like Toastmaster Belinda Tando. I'll say thanks to people like Toastmaster Jennifer German. The few times that they visited my club, TM Belinda just whispered into my ears and said, "You're a beautiful lady. You need to smile more often." And Dr. Sue also told me that I need to look in the mirror whenever I wake up and then just smile. So when I started noticing that I could just sit down for no apparent reason, I'll be smiling, then I knew that I was actually getting better. But aside that, that's just on the lighter notes. I realized I was getting better because I started learning to tolerate other people. If you know me and you know me very well, I am a stickler for rules, and I can sometimes be seen as a no-nonsense person. But through leadership training in Toastmasters, I've come to realize that people come in different forms and shapes. Everyone has something to offer, and so you need to learn to tolerate a bit more, although you don't lose sight of what needs to be done. But then ensure that you embrace everyone and get the job done. It's been a beautiful one, a hands-on experience for me. I joined Toastmasters just when the takeover of the banks happened. And I had finished doing my leadership training. I've forgotten the name of that project, but the project about the various leadership styles. And it was brought to bear in the midst of confusion. So my branch was one branch where the day the takeover happened, I actually asked the police guys permission to go and buy kinky for my team, because on Friday, I think it happened on a Friday, we drew our kinky in the morning and nothing was going to stop us. So the team that came from GCB, from Bank of Ghana, and the police guys, I'm sure they were like, who the hell are these people? Because in the midst of the confusion, I still realized that no matter what, we can't kill ourselves. It has already happened. Let's make the best out of it. And the stress became easier on me. I was able to help with my team because I had learned how to do it in Toastmasters. Stay focused. Make sure you make the best out of every situation you find yourself. And it helped a lot. It's been influential. It's been transformational. And then fun. Influential in the fact that a lot has changed in the way I do my things, at home, at work, at church, wherever I find myself. Same would go for transformational. I see myself as a calmer person now. I talk with a lot of pauses. I think a lot more before I speak. And it's been fun. Fun in the sense that I've got to meet a lot of people. And I have been taught not to take life too seriously. Balance it off and make the best of every situation you find yourself. A speech that always comes to mind anytime I'm asked to recall speeches is a speech by one of my very good friends in Toastmasters, Toastmaster Helena from Bury Me Now. Bury Me Now was a speech he gave during a contest, but it was so real to what Ghana is all about, that we wait till people die before we do what we're supposed to do for them. We wait till people are no more before we make them feel or know. You can't even make a person feel or know how he meant to you when he's no longer there. So all the things that you do for my burial, bury me now. Be human. Let's make the other person feel better. Let's show love wherever we find ourselves. Let's show leadership. And let that transformation that we want to see in Ghana, it should be now and not tomorrow. I'll need a whole day for this. My journey, for those who held my hands, I would always say thank you and of my heart to ETM, Precious Safakwa. She's one person who saw a leader in me right from the day I entered Tema Flourish, and even created a portfolio for me. So in Tema Flourish, they used to call me Mama Pro, meaning Mama Project. So anytime there's a new project coming up, I have to take that up. DTM, Patricia, was also with us in the beginning, and she taught me a lot of the things that I know. She showed me how to do things the right way. I have a lot of people who influence me for so many things in Toastmasters. So depending on where I find myself at each step of the way, there is a Toastmaster that I look up to. The list is very long, but let me just limit it to a few people. DTM Tony Safo, DTM Papa Akest, Carl Anthony Quay. I've already mentioned Jennifer, TM Belinda, Dr. Susie, who again? The two former division directors, DTM Elizabeth Sasu and then Dr. Loretta. And then also one person who helps me to calm down, DTM Telma Nakai. Events, I could go on and on and on. Yes, and DTM Michael Adote. If I'm looking for a place to offload, whenever I'm stressed in Toastmasters, then I go to TM Adra. Because she would tell me, after all that, calm down, we'll still make it through. And these are a few people who've helped, shaped, Toastmaster Asantewaa. I'm a more sociable being now because I've come to learn about the power of networking, what we will now say the social currency, and the doors that it opens for you. If I am to list the things that I have gotten out of Toastmasters without paying for, I don't think time will permit us. It's enormous. And so you come into Toastmasters with the mindset that you're here to build your leadership and communication skills. But once you dedicate your life to it, once you dedicate your time to it, there's so many doors that are open for you. You're looking for something, just call a Toastmaster and it is done for you. I got admission for my children in a school where I had tried for 3 years. And the Toastmaster just joined, and I asked the person, where do you work? And he says, and I said, I have been to your school so many times looking for admission for my children. He said, really? Okay. By the next 1 hour, the headmaster was calling me, asking me to come and pick up forms for an exams. And that was it. My children just got admission just like that. So you could have all the money, you could have all the resources, but with this one, it wasn't about money because it's a very close-knit community. And so just by me assisting somebody to register to become a Toastmaster, I got the dream school I wanted for my children. Do it for yourself. Do it for yourself. I am still in Toastmasters because if I write the things that I do on a daily basis, 99.9% of them are for others. From the time I wake up till the time I go to bed, if you should itemize the things that you do, you find about 90% of these things being for others. You're running off to work to go and help make someone better, even though your pockets will get better. But Toastmasters is one thing that you do for yourself. Your personal branding, which will go with you every step of the way. I joined Toastmasters, as I said, in 2019. We started 2018, but officially in 2019. And I've seen the transformation, not just for myself, for others. We're just having a conversation, and then we're listing the number of people who've become authors now in Toastmasters. And it's just because of what Toastmasters has to offer. I know people who are camera shy who are now great creators on social media because of Toastmasters. I could talk of Toastmaster Peter with his Peace Box. I could talk about Dr. Susie, who is now an author, DTM Evans, Elizabeth, Juanita, Toastmaster Letitia. The list goes on and on and on and on. And I saw a number of these people come to Toastmasters in their raw form. And today, they stand on international stages. DTM Jeremy happened to do a training session where I was in there. And I was just proud to be a Toastmaster. Because proud to him coming, it was a week-long program. You had people who had a tall list of accolades and titles coming in. And the kind of impression DTM Jeremy left with my team, I could only do this and say, he's a Toastmaster. So please, if you want to join Toastmasters, yes, you come in for the leadership skills, you come in for the communication skills. The networking is something that money cannot buy. Your $65 cannot pay for that. The fun that you have and the growth, it's about what you will make out of the growth. I've seen people left Ghana for international stages just by staying consistent and paying $65. Now they are earning dollars out of it. So please, just do this for yourself.